Від щирого серця вітаємо співвітчизників у цьому гостинному куточку Бельгії. Дякуємо, що приєдналися. Сьогодні, як ніколи, хотілося бути разом, відчути себе частинкою великого цілого. Ми б хотіли, щоб ви себе відчули як вдома на рідній землі, тому сьогодні для вас представлена українська кухня, кримсько-татарська кухня, майстерність наших митців та гостинний куточок для дітей. Ну і, звичайно, рідні українські мотиви, а також виставка картин дитячих малюнків, майстер-класи, зокрема з петриківського розпису.
From the bottom of our hearts, we thank our hosts for providing us with this wonderful heavenly place to celebrate our Independence Day here in Belgium. Today we would like to present to you our country and its people, our culture, music and traditions. We are very pleased that the Europeans treat us with great respect and understanding and help us in times of need.
Багато століть Україна крок за кроком виборює своє право на незалежність, на рідну мову, на власний вибір та можливість відзначати власні пріоритети. Українська культура неповторна, самобутня та неординарна. Це те, що нас відрізняє, це те, за що ми маємо боротися і зберегти. Водночас ми поділяємо з вами, з європейцями, найголовніше – цінності. Право на життя, право на свободу, справедливість, повага до людської гідності. Саме за це сьогодні наша боротьба із ворогом. Наш народ упродовж всієї історії – це вільний народ, миролюбивий до всіх сусідів.
For centuries, Ukraine has been choosing step by step its right to be independent, to have its own native language, to make its own choice and the opportunity to determine its own priorities. Ukrainian culture is unique, original, and extraordinary. This is what sets us apart, and that's what we must preserve. At the same time, we share with you the most important things, values, human rights to life and free will, justice, respect for human dignity. This is what we are fighting for with our enemies today. Throughout history, our people have been formed as a free people, peaceful toward all neighbors, creating amazing opportunities for mutual enrichment through constructive coexistence and cooperation.
Шановні гості, я прошу вас піднятися на своїх місцях. Давайте вшануємо пам'ять загиблих воїнів та всіх мирних українців у цій війні.
Dear guests, let us begin our solemn meeting with a minute of silence in memory of the civilians and military who died for our freedom.
Ми ніколи не забудемо і ніколи не пробачимо. А наразі дозвольте розпочати офіційну частину виконанням гімну України, Бельгії та Євросоюзу.
And now, anthem of Ukraine, Belgium and European Union, the performer of the national hymn of Ukraine, Yevgen Prudnik.
Згинуть
Ми щиро дякуємо Shape International Band. Це офіційний музичний представник НАТО та Верховного головнокомандувача Об'єднаних Збройних сил НАТО в Європі. Ще раз дякуємо вам. Дякуємо.
Our sincere thanks to the Shape International Band, the official musical representative of the NATO and Supreme Allied Commander Europe. You're great. Thank you. Such a powerful support. Thanks to Yevgen Prudnik for performing the anthem.
Запрошуємо до слова пані Наталію Аношину, тимчасового повіреного України в Королівстві Бельгія та Великому Герцогстві Люксембург.
Please welcome Ms. Natalia Anoshina, Charge d'Affaires, Embassy of Ukraine in the Kingdom of Belgium and Grand Duchy of Luxembourg.
Dear Ukrainians, dear guests, Mrs. Stilyo, Mr. Edgen, ladies and gentlemen, today is a significant day in our history, Ukraine's Independence Day. And on this day, I would like to dedicate my speech to Ukraine, to my wonderful country, which is 32 years old today. 32 years of independence and 1,000 years of fighting for it. The fight for our identity, freedom, language, culture. The fight to be called Ukrainians. On February 24, 2022, Russia tried to shoot at the very heart of our country. One crazy person decided that he could destroy an entire nation, an entire country. But this person miscalculated. Ukraine has never obeyed any enemy. And so it remains today. And even at the beginning of the war, when perhaps not all countries believed in us, we believed in ourselves, in our invincibility. We believed that the enemy would not defeat us. We were not afraid. We did not surrender. We did not cry. We just united to protect our homes and our land. One small country, perhaps for somebody unknown about a few years ago, changed the world. And the name of this country is Ukraine. Ukraine has become an example of resilience. Ukraine has become a country of heroes who are admired all over the world. Independence, sovereignty, freedom, the right to life and dignity are our guiding principles. More than 500 days of the full-scale Russian armed aggression against Ukraine. For more than 500 days, Russians have been killing, torturing, raping, humiliating women, men, children, and our defenders on a daily basis. Russians are crushing and destroying everything in their path. The recent missile attack on Chernihiv once again took the lives of civilians. Today's hit on Dnipro. Bucha, Borodyanka, Irpin, Mariupol, Bakhmut, Kherson, Kharkiv, Zaporizhzhia, Odessa, Azovstal, Kakhovka Dam. These are words that the whole world knows. And behind these words is unbearable pain. These are wounds on the body of Ukraine. And there are a lot of such wounds. Ukraine has been covered in blood. Russia must be punished for all its atrocities against Ukrainians. Our pilots covered the sky, which is still open, while on the ground, parents covered their children. And on this day, I thank our fearless defenders and remember with great sadness those who gave their lives for Ukraine. You are forever in our hearts. To save lives of Ukrainians, it is crucial to have all necessary weapons arriving in time. During this period, we have clearly learned who is our friend, partner, and ally, and who is on the other side, the side of the terrorist country. And now, I want to thank Belgium and all our reliable friends for the strong support of Ukraine. The Belgian government, parliament, regional and community authorities, and Belgian people have been helping Ukraine and Ukrainians since the first days of the war. Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo has repeatedly demonstrated full solidarity with Ukraine, supporting particularly the initiatives of the President of Ukraine. Belgium is a country that demonstrated unprecedented full support in all spheres: military, financial, international legal, medical, humanitarian, on bilateral and multilateral levels in the framework of international organizations. There is a possibility to help our country during this event as well in one very easy way, just to scan QR code on small posters that you received. This fundraiser is within the framework of the First Lady of Ukraine, Olena Zelenska Foundation for the Rebuilding Hospital in Izum City, Kharkiv region. And thank you in advance for your donations. I would like to express special words of gratitude to Luxembourg for its assistance to Ukraine. And today we have with us our honorable guest, the President of the Chamber of Deputies of Luxembourg, Mr. Fernand Etienne, together with his wonderful team. I'm grateful to every country that provided much-needed assistance to Ukraine. I would also like to emphasize that ambassadors of foreign governments from all continents with us today. The entire democratic world is with Ukraine. And we underline that this support is much needed to realize peace formula of President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. We are not giving up our territories and are not sitting down to negotiate with the enemy until it liberates all the occupied territories, including Crimea, which was the focus of attention yesterday during the third summit of the International Crimea Platform. And we are very grateful to Belgium and Luxembourg for the participation in this very important event. Ukraine will keep the same borders as on August 24, 1991. The borders recognized by the entire international community. Vandaag zijn we in Grimbergen en ik wil mijn diepe dankbaarheid uitspreken aan de abdij en persoonlijk aan pater Karel voor de gastvrijheid en alle hulp die zij hebben verleend. Ik dank ook het stad Grimbergen en burgemeester de heer Bart Laremans voor de steun. Dank u wel. Et un grand merci pour le soutien belge et votre solidarité avec l'Ukraine. Merci beaucoup. Particular words of gratitude to the representatives of the Ukrainian community and all volunteers who contributed to the organization and holding of today's event. We greatly appreciate your work and assistance. Thank you to all the volunteers who are with us today. Thank you. I would like to take a moment of appreciation for all the hard-working Ukrainian volunteers who prepared the delightful dishes for today. They have been working day and night for the last few days to provide the best culinary experience possible, and I hope you will enjoy it. My sincere words of gratitude to the sponsors and partners of the embassy who provided extremely powerful assistance. They are RIA Group, DEME, Promote Ukraine, ACT events, Lions Club, Bessie, Brussels Enterprises, Commerce and Industry, Renaissance de la Nation, La Planque, Sushi Avenue, Бріма, Товариство українців Бельгії, Організація українок Бельгії, Кремли, Action Ukraine EU, об'єкти, The Levant Boom, Cultural Center of Ukraine in Belgium, Рідна школа Лєж, Українська школа імені Ярослава Мудрого міста Брюссель, Блументі, Stone, Ukraine. My deep gratitude to the diplomats and the entire embassy team who have been doing their best every day to represent our country at today's event. I would like also to thank the core organizer, our colleagues, the mission of Ukraine to the EU. Sincere gratitude to Shape International Band, all our musicians, artists, and singers that perform today. I thank all Ukrainians and our foreign guests who are with us today. Thank you for your support. Ukraine will definitely win. Our strength is unity. Slava Ukraini! Thank you.
До слова запрошується пан Всеволод Ченцов, посол, представник України при Євросоюзі.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to present to our stage Mr. Всеволод Ченцов, Ambassador, Head of the Mission of Ukraine to the European Union.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, dear Mayor, dear Commissioner, Excellencies, Ambassadors, members of the Parliament. It's a great honor to see you today, and nothing stops us today, even this rain, nothing stops Ukraine, neither on a battlefield or coping with a difficult economic situation back home. But we have a moment to celebrate today. We celebrate our independence, we celebrate our existence, because every day in Ukraine it's Independence Day. Because Russian war against Ukraine, it's existential challenge. And it started not yesterday, it started not even 16 months ago. Unfortunately, it's a historical challenge, and we need to deal with this challenge in a serious, systemic manner. And that's why I have a beautiful speech prepared by my colleagues, but I wanted to use and to echo elements we hear today during the Holy Mass by Father Oleg Zimak, and it's about memory, it's about being thankful, it's about hard work. And indeed, we need to remember our history, to remember our credentials, our culture. And unfortunately, Ukraine was not known before this war, but we have been around for centuries. And only today, our friends and allies, and sometimes ourselves, we reveal these strong foundations of Ukrainian culture and history. And I hope you will also enjoy the flavors of Ukraine today, our food, our drink, our music. And in spite of the war, we try also to contribute to the rich European and global cultural scene with our precious elements of our culture. We need to remember, we have to remember the heroes. We already mentioned today during the Holy Mass and this event those who fight for Ukraine, but fight not only on the battlefield, but also rebuild what is damaged even now. We survived horrible winter, and we survived it because of the strength of our people, but also because of the help of our allies and friends. And we need to be thankful for all we get, for every day of our life. We need to be thankful for all humanitarian support, for all military support, for all political strong gestures we are getting from our friends and allies which believe in Ukraine, which believe that we will stand on and we win. And it's definitely about trust. So we are thankful for this trust you extend to Ukraine every day. And hard work. It is not possible to win this war without hard labor. Once again, on the battlefield, on the diplomatic front as well, Crimean platform was mentioned, and we are gathering more and more countries around this table. And those who were yesterday unconvinced today are joining the ranks with us, with those who help us, because we have been able to deliver the message about the nature of the Russian war, about the nature of the Russian criminal regime, and the choice is getting more and more simple on which side of the history you are today. Whether you are comfortable in the morning to look at your face and look for solutions, but not for reasons why not to do. And definitely, since I'm responsible for the European Union, we are thankful to our colleagues for giving a strong, long-awaited message to Ukraine about our European perspective last year. And we've been working hard to make a next step and to start accession talks. Hopefully, this decision will be taken later this year. For unprecedented level of humanitarian support, I will just mention 95,000 tons of goods delivered by the EU via 3 big humanitarian hubs on our border, and it's the biggest in history humanitarian operation of the European Union. Also, for unique historical decision to allocate basically all the resources European Union designated in the European Peace Facility for Ukraine. So, because of this war, European Union became a military power, and definitely generators, all electrical equipment we received last winter, and we have to prepare for the next one, for the support of our grain exports solidarity line, because agricultural sector, it's lifeline for Ukraine. We are able to survive, we are able to pay our salaries and pensions because of this support, and definitely macrofinancial assistance, also unprecedented historical levels of financial support we are getting, but also the big decision to allocate another 50 billion euro for the next 4 years, which is a strong stimulus for other partners to join forces and to help Ukrainian economy to survive. Natalia already mentioned our fundraiser for the hospital in Izum. Why it is a special hospital? Because it is located in the area liberated by our forces last summer. You remember this historical move of Ukrainian forces in the Kharkiv region. And this hospital was looted, devastated, almost destroyed by the Russian occupiers. And we need to rebuild it, and our partners and friends already making strong steps. During the visit of the President Zelensky and First Ladies last weekend to the Netherlands, Philips Medical made a big step forward and offer its support. But it's not enough. We need to, once again, to stay together, to join forces, to reach the result. Last but not least, I wanted to thank all member states in the European Union, institutions in particular, for hosting our people. You have a lot of Ukrainians with us today. Only in Belgium, as far as I know, around 80,000 people hosted. And once again, it was an unprecedented step, and we hope that this decision will be prolonged for another year to make our people in Belgium and in other countries more predictable and comfortable. And thank you again for hosting us Ukrainians. And I am sure that our people, they find not only shelter in this beautiful country and other countries, but also contribute to your economy, to your culture. And you, because of our people, you know better what is Ukraine and what can we bring to this union. And definitely I wanted also to join and thank our sponsors, European Commission, US Mission to the EU, our friends from different companies and organizations to make it possible. And indeed, this is a wonderful event, and in spite of all difficulties, we can enjoy this moment, enjoy Ukrainian cuisine, Ukrainian music, and once again, thank you for coming and being with us. Thank you very much. Slava Ukraini!
Хотілося б окремо наголосити, що місто Грінберген, яке гостинно приймає нас сьогодні, також постійно допомагає Україні та українцям, які вимушено знаходяться в ЄС. Слово надається людині з великим серцем і душею, бургомістер Грінбергена пан Барт Лерманс.
I would like to separately emphasize that the city of Grimbergen, which is hospitably hosting us today, also constantly helps Ukrainian refugees who are forced to stay in European Union. Please welcome a person with a big heart and soul, Mr. Bart Lermans.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grimbergen. It's a great honor for us that we can focus on Ukraine's independence here today. It's no coincidence that it takes place here in the gardens of our beautiful and hospitable abbey, who today wishes to extend church asylum and shelter to an entire nation. Your choice for this location is a fine token of recognition for the effort and inspiration of a passionate Norbertine, Vater Karel Stoutemans, who kindled fire and passion in many hearts in Flanders for the needs of Ukraine, with great success results. We are truly proud that we could contribute to this project and share in this movement of togetherness and solidarity. But today, we are here first and foremost to focus on the national independence of Ukraine and to underscore its importance. Because indeed, the war with Russia is not a border conflict, but essentially concerns the survival of Ukraine as a free nation. This is precisely what Putin wanted to tear down. It's so similar to what we already went through in Europe 85 years ago, when a frustrated dictator, having gained power after the elimination of the fledgling democracy in his country, attacks his neighboring country, denies its very right to exist, and takes advantage of minorities to propagate a brutal Anschluss and to grab Lebensraum for his imperial state. The Russian invasion is so similar to the annexation of Czechoslovakia in 1938, of Poland in 1939, and the rest of Europe in 1940. It's all so similar. And the heroic fight of the Ukrainian people has woken up Europe. Your country teaches us those values that seem to have been discarded long ago in our society. Resilience, for instance, the steadfast willpower to defend one's country, to put one's own life at stake for freedom. The love for country and identity, for instance. Standing up for the nation, for the higher good, instead of little profits and self-interest. We commemorate, therefore, with respect and great piety, the many tens of thousands of Ukrainians, often very young people, who let down their lives in this struggle. It was your singer Ruslana who here in Flanders very recently called upon us for more action. But which contribution could a mayor of a small town like Grimbergen actually make? I want to launch an appeal to all democratically elected mayors of Russia, from the tiniest village to the biggest cities. Fight for your honor and restore democracy in your country. Because democracy in Russia has been destroyed by Putin and his KGB gang. With a resilient democracy, with control of the executive power of a true parliament, an independent justice system, and a free press, this brutal and inhuman war of conquest, which has cost so many lives already, would cease immediately. Unite as mayors. Restore your country and put aside the dictator and his gang. And I would like to conclude with a request to you, diplomats of Ukraine. Already you have so marvelously accomplished an incredible amount of work in support of your country and your brave President Zelensky. But a very important task for you yet remains. And I ask you this from this abbey, this place of peace. Work for the future and prepare your country and Europe for lasting peace. Ensure that your country and all your countrymen may soon enjoy a normal life again, may breathe freely in a liberated and peaceful nation. Slava Ukraini.
Thanks a lot. Dank u wel.
We would like to invite President of the Chamber of the Representatives in Belgian Parliament, Ms. Eliane Tillieu.
Президент Палати представників парламенту Бельгії, пані Ельян Тільє.
Mesdames, Messieurs, dames en heren, ladies and gentlemen, Madame Chargée d'Affaires, Mr. Ambassadors, dear colleague, President of the Parliament of Luxembourg, dear colleagues of the Chamber of Representatives, it is with a great emotion that I stand before you today on the 32nd Independence Day of Ukraine. Independence Day should normally be a festive occasion for every nation. But unfortunately, this is the second year running that the Ukrainian people have been unable to fully celebrate it. The large-scale invasion of Ukraine on the morning of 24 February 2022 turned the lives of every Ukrainian family upside down and shocked the whole European continent. I would like to take this opportunity to salute the courage of all Ukrainian citizens who have been fighting tirelessly for their freedom since day one. Belgium immediately condemned this aggression, which represents a flagrant violation of international law. Our two countries have long enjoyed good relations. The first international agreement between our two countries dates back to 1996. As the Speaker of the House of Representatives, I have had the opportunity to meet your country's representatives on numerous occasions and to convey Belgium to support them. Shortly after the beginning of the war, President Zelensky spoke via video conference to all the members of the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives also welcomed the Speaker of Verkhovna Rada, Mr. Ruslan Stefanchuk, as well as members of parliament and mayors of municipalities that were in front line at the start of the aggression. All these meetings have helped to maintain the members of the House of Representatives' downbeat support for Ukraine. The House adopted resolutions condemning the Russian aggression and recognized the Holodomor as genocide. In Belgium, solidarity with the Ukrainian people was expressed at every level of government, and the Belgian people immediately responded naturally. I am certain that this solidarity will continue for as long as necessary. In April 22, I had the opportunity to visit a border crossing point and 2 reception centers for Ukrainian refugees in Poland. There, I was able to witness the exile of many Ukrainian families who were staying in camps, waiting to go to another country or to return home, as an unacceptable, painful, and distressing situation. On more than one occasion, the citizens of Ukraine have demonstrated their desire for independence, freedom, democracy. In 2022, the European Union and its member states took these aspirations into account and recognized Ukraine as a candidate country. Ukraine has been resisting for over a year and a half now, and we now know that this war is not just about the Ukrainian people. The consequences of the war in Ukraine showed us that our world is interlinked. The blockade of food exports and Ukrainian exports has a direct impact on food supply to developing countries, creating significant risks of famine. I can say with certitude that the invasion of Ukraine was a sort of wake-up call for a great number of Europeans We then realized that peace can never be taken for granted and that we must stand by our values. The European Union has showed unity and also determination in supporting Ukraine and in sanctioning the aggressor. No matter the cost, European countries decided to become independent from the Russian fossil fuels. Now that Belgium, along the other EU member states, is determined to hold accountable the Russian authorities for the crimes committed in Ukraine. Dear Ukrainian citizens, on this important day for your country, know that our hearts go out to you and that we will continue to support you. Slava Ukraina.
The Grand Duchy of Luxembourg also made a huge contribution to helping refugees from Ukraine. Thank you. And we want to invite to the stage Fernand Etienne, President of the Chamber of Deputies of Luxembourg.
Крім Бельгії, наше посольство активно співпрацює з Люксембургом. Це маленька країна, але в неї велике серце. Велике герцогство надало неоціненну допомогу Україні та українцям від початку російської агресії. І сьогодні для нас особливо приємно оголосити, що на нашому заході присутній почесний гість, президент Палати депутатів Люксембургу пан Фернан Еджен.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear Natalia, it is a great honor and a source of pride for me to commemorate together with you today the 32nd Independence Day of Ukraine. For the past year and a half, the Ukrainian people have inspired the world with their extraordinary courage, tremendous determination, and dedication to freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, our celebration on this day must not be limited to a strict look at the past. Rather, it should be seen as a resounding affirmation that Ukraine proudly remains and will remain a sovereign and independent nation. An independent nation where our common European values are upheld, where our freedom is defended, and where the future of Europe is written. We know that we can never match the sacrifices Ukrainians are making every single day. But we can stand up for you, and we will stand up for you. The Luxembourg Chamber of Deputies has supported Ukraine right since the beginning of this brutal war of aggression and will continue to do so in the years to come, towards the reconstruction of your country and towards your membership in the European Union and in NATO. I underlined our unconditional help during the virtual address of the President of Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky, at the Chamber of Deputies, during my several exchanges of views with my counterpart, Mr. Stefanchuk, as well as with the many Ukrainian delegations I had the privilege to welcome this past year and a half in Luxembourg. And I will never tire of repeating it. The Grand Duchy of Luxembourg stands in full solidarity with Ukraine. There can be no compromise on your freedom. Luxembourg will remain committed to provide strong humanitarian, financial, and military assistance to your country and its people. We are supporting Ukraine in winning this war, and we are making sure that Ukraine emerges victorious. The ensuing peace must be a just peace, a peace where truth is established, justice is done, and war criminals have no chance to escape. Russia's crime of aggression and Putin's decision to undermine the fundamental principles of the UN Charter must be held uncountable. We will never resign to a world in which force prevails over law. Ladies and gentlemen, the Independence Day, being the second since the full-scale aggression of Russia, is bittersweet for many Ukrainians, as too many have been killed or wounded, millions have been displaced from their homes, and so many others have fallen victim to Russian atrocities and attacks. But 1 year and a half of relentless attacks have only strengthened Ukrainians' pride in themselves, in their country, and in their 32 years of independence. 32 years and counting. Dear friends, your commitment to freedom and democracy serves as an inspiration to us all. Today, on Ukrainian Independence Day, the best message Luxembourg can convey is that we stand with you, shoulder to shoulder, as partners, friends, and allies, as a family, and family members help and support each other. You can count on us. Together, we will endure and rebuild a strong European Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Наша подяка також лунає в адрес Європейської комісії.
Our thanks also go to the European Commission.
Нам приємно, що Україну вже побачили як члена Європейського Союзу, як члена європейської сім'ї. Ми отримали кандидатський статус у рекордні строки і зараз активно працюємо над початком офіційних перемовин про вступ України до ЄС. Ми вдячні всім партнерам, які допомагають нашій країні на цьому шляху.
We would like to invite Ms. Helena Dalli, European Commissioner for Equality.
Єврокомісар з питань рівності, пані Хелена Далі.
Thank you. Dear Excellencies, dear guests, dear Ukrainian friends, I am very happy to be with you at this event marking the Independence Day of Ukraine. This day is full of significance and pride for all Ukrainians as it symbolizes the rebirth of the Ukrainian state 32 years ago and the regaining of freedom. Freedom that now is being fought for again. But this day is also of great importance to us, Europeans, and the entire world. Ukraine is not only fighting for its own future, but also for the future of the European continent. It is a fight for democracy, freedom, and the preservation of a just and equitable, rule-based global order for all. Since the start of Russia's brutal war of aggression 18 months ago, Europe and Europeans have stood firmly with Ukraine and Ukrainians, providing support that today amounts to 76 billion euros. European Union countries have provided shelter to more than 4 million Ukrainians forced to abandon their homes due to the invasion. In the coming days, Ukrainian children will be again welcomed in European schools allowing them to continue their education while we continue supporting the reconstruction of schools in Ukraine. Today's event is also an occasion to celebrate the richness of Ukrainian traditions and culture. Since February of 2022, thousands of museums, monuments, temples, libraries, concert halls, culture centers have been damaged or destroyed by Russian bombs. We all know what important role culture and art play in such crucial moments for a country. That is why we are committed to supporting Ukrainian culture and promoting cooperation between cultural organizations in Ukraine and in the European Union. Culture boosts the power of the community and that of society as a whole. Your presence here today and the mobilization of so many partner organizations to make this event happen illustrates the resilience of Ukrainian society and the great spirit of solidarity in our societies. We will continue to support Ukraine and the Ukrainian people as long as it takes. We will join forces to rebuild Ukraine on its path towards the European Union so that the Independence Day and every single day is again full of hope and confidence for a peaceful future, a truly European one. Slava Ukraini!
Слово надається тимчасово повіреній у справах США в ЄС пані Келлі Адамс-Сміт.
Please welcome to the stage Ms. Kelly Adams-Smith, Charge d'Affaires, U.S. Mission to the European Union.
Thank you, everyone. Ambassador Chentsov, Madam Chargé, Madam Commissioner, distinguished guests, Ukrainian friends, we are so happy to have had this opportunity to partner with you on this fantastic event. Even a little rain won't keep us down. It's still a fantastic event. And on behalf of the U.S. mission to the EU and the American Tri-mission in Brussels, we want to congratulate the Ukrainians on Independence Day. Today, we pay tribute to the Ukrainian people for your courage, your tenacity, and incredible sacrifice as you fight to preserve freedom for all of us in the face of Russia's unprovoked invasion of your country. Each day, as we witness the depths of your resolve, the Ukrainian people prove to the world that democracy is worth fighting for. As President Biden said, the defense of freedom is not the work of one day or a year. It's the calling of our lifetime and for all time. The United States will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. As we commemorate Ukraine's 32nd Independence Day, we recognize that there are challenges still ahead, but we also celebrate the triumphs you have already achieved through your courage, resilience, and determination. So thank you, happy Independence Day, and Slava Ukraini!
Ще раз дякуємо почесним гостям за допомогу і важливі ініціативи.
Once again, we would like to thank the honorable guests for their help and initiatives.
Ну що, шановні, нарешті ми переходимо до музичної частини нашого заходу.
And now will be a musical part of our event.
Do you know that Ukraine is the world champion